All right, next we got Heath, Slater, and Rhyno defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championships versus Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, the new Wyatt family. Now, first of all, my thoughts on the new Wyatt family. I am totally on board with it. When the feud started with Bray and Orton, I mean, it seemed like a natural feud for both where they are on the card and on the show and everything. And I think they really tried. They really tried. It wasn't terrible, but it just missed the mark. I think we can all agree on that. It got really hokey, really weird. I appreciate them for trying that, but it just didn't work out. And then Orton wasn't cleared for when they had their first match scheduled. He wasn't cleared after the Brock Lesnar match, and so it kind of lost a little steam there. And then I don't know if this is the ultimate plan, but eventually putting them together, it seemed like Orton was just going to join them and then turn on him a week later like Daniel Bryan did. But they really have established that Orton is just part of the family, and the Survivor Series was to cap that off. And I think that was a shock to everybody that they were the final two survivors, and that was great. That worked. They really needed something like that if they're going to just keep them as a team. So I'm on board with it. I think what really makes it work is that, Bray Wyatt, we know how great he can be, and, he has been, but, he's still kind of spinning his wheels a little bit. And I think when you put somebody like Randy Orton behind him, Bray Wyatt is still the leader of this, and Orton is, is like new number two guy, and, they're doing the thing with Orton and Luke Harper, to whoever's going to have his ear and everything. But when you have somebody like Orton who's following Bray Wyatt, I think that just elevates Bray Wyatt in himself to have established multi-time world champion like Randy Orton following his orders and everything and his lead. So I think that's really what makes this kind of seem like something here. And I think at this point, I think you got to just let them be the tag team champions. As good as Heath, Slater, and Rhyno have been, and it was very surprising how that went about. That's another two people, or at least Heath Slater on his own, who really benefited from the brand split. He really found something with the free agent thing, and it was going to run its course. It can only go so far, and it did. And I think even winning the tag team championships was pretty surprising, and I think that was a good way to cap all that off and reward him for the great work he's been doing. They really cooled it off, though. They haven't even been on TV as much, and I don't know if it's because they got too over or what it was. But I think they've done their job, and at this point, I think you put it on Orton and Wyatt. It'll be Wyatt's first title, which is really surprising, and then now you have two kind of main event guys holding the tag titles, and then that makes those look good, and then the next team that beats them, like if it's American Alpha or something like that, that's really going to put them over. And that was a great match too, American Alpha against Orton and Wyatt, and those guys are great, and they're obviously going to win them sometime. And so if it's against them, or I thought it was going to be like the Usos, I think that's a way to establish the tag titles and the next team that beats them. So I'm going to say Orton and Wyatt win the tag team titles here. Next, we got Dolph Ziggler taking on The Miz in a ladder match. I'm just trying to get the music going here. And